Hello, I am going to talk to you a little bit about your school philosophy and personal philosophy piece. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And so you should be seeing this when you go into the assignment link. And what we're going to be talking about basically is what you think your program should entail. And so in this class, we have some that are practicing physical education teachers, some that are transitional teachers, so they're coming back for a different degree, and then others that have never taught physical education. So I try and make this three-prong, and so that's why you have so many different files to review or use as references, because I have to kind of accommodate everybody's different levels of where you're at right now. And so before you make your mission statement or your own philosophy, I'd encourage you to look at some of these items because, again, developing these things, we're going to be looking at it now. And then this is going to be one of your last assignments in this class as well, to see if anything has changed after you start to learn a little bit more about curriculum and instruction and maybe what your own personality for the different things that you want to include in your own curriculum. So if you are not a current physical education teacher, that's why you have all of these lovely PDF files and things that way to kind of help you along your journey to understand what it is that you should be including in maybe some of your thought processes when you're developing your philosophy for your school or for yourself within physical education. Now, some of you who are physical education teachers right now, you probably already have a mission statement and a philosophy statement of your own, but I do want you to review those items. And if you're thinking of making a change, for instance, let's say you're at the elementary right now and you want to move to maybe somebody's retiring soon and you want to move to the secondary high school level, then maybe take this into consideration when you're doing some of these projects, because basically what we're doing is we are starting with the introduction of a mission and philosophy. And then you're going to use the National Outcomes and Standards book and really basically create your year-long plan of what you're going to be teaching. So again, some of the physical education teachers that are currently teaching may already have this plan in effect, but then it's also a time for you to review and see what's working, what's not, and maybe update it depending on how long you've been using it. But then if you are not a current physical education teacher, you can have an idea of what you want your curriculum to look like for the entire year, because it is very important to understand how many days you actually are going to be seeing your students within physical education class. All right, so with this assignment, basically what you're going to be doing is you need to think about what grade levels you're wanting to teach. So are you going to be at the elementary or secondary level? But if you're at the secondary level, then you need to divide it up into middle or high school, because there are some different components there. And then I have it kind of divided into if you're a current teacher or if you're not currently a physical education teacher, of what you should be looking at within your phys ed program. And then if you are not familiar with the Nebraska or the national organization and our standards and things that way, which you all should be by now if you're doing this assignment, because that is part of the quiz that you took that is due today on September 5th. But then I gave you some examples of different curriculums and different philosophies that are out there from different kind of grade levels, as well as from different locations. All right, so now we get into the actual assignment. So what you're going to be doing is making a mission statement for your physical education program. So again, if you are not currently teaching, you need to decide if you're at what grade level and things that way, so you can figure out from there. Then I'd really encourage you to look at the National Outcomes and Standards book, because it does have an idea within Chapter 2 of what you should be really teaching. So for instance, at the elementary level, it should be working on fundamental skills. At the secondary level within middle school, it should be strategies and understanding one another. And then we're moving into the lifetime activities and instruction. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have a basketball unit or a pickleball unit within high school, but at the same time, you're teaching students how to be physically active outside of school when they graduate. So we have that progression going. So make sure that you're looking at those things when you're developing your mission statement for your physical education program. So these are some other little things that you should maybe think about. So they need to align with some other curriculum. So let's say if you are in a physical education program right now at a school, make sure that the curriculum philosophy goes along with your school's curriculum philosophy. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's exactly what you agree upon, but what it is that will be accepted. Okay, then the next part is more about you. So you're developing your own personal philosophy of physical education. And some teachers have a very sport ed mind, or some have more lifetime fitness. So it depends on what kind of you're thinking about, of what you want to have for your philosophy. So I have possible components that you should maybe potentially have within the paragraphs that you're writing. And what is it that you're thinking about? You know, the purpose of your physical education program, some generic goals, but then also the implementation of the philosophy. And assessment is very, very important, which we'll get into within this course as well. Then part 3 is developing your school curriculum philosophy, and that is different than your mission, because the mission is basically the whole gamut. What's the mission of your program? The philosophy then is how you're going to achieve that mission. And so you're going to expand those ideas within up to 3 paragraphs for your school. So if you have additional questions or anything like that, please let me know. Please make sure that it is legible and understandable when you're writing. You're more than welcome to use bullet points to get points across within each of these components. Whatever is the most easiest for you to read and for me to read. So if you were looking through, let's say you're giving your philosophy to parents, what is it that's going to be the easiest for them to read, understand, and be able to come away with, yep, this is exactly what this physical educator is all about, and I'm so glad that my student is in their class. That's the type of thing that we should be hopefully developing, so our parents, as well as the students and administration, understand what your physical education program is all about. So again, if you have more questions, please let me know. Otherwise, that is kind of the rendition of what your first part of the assignment link is. If you have more questions, again, email me or talk to me on the phone and we can figure it out together. Thanks and have a great day.